So today, I'm attending a protest down in Loch Raven. Premises of this protest is basically just to, I think it's like I believe it's a mini No Kings protest. Basically, going along the lines of going on in politics now with Trump and everything. And I'm not going to voice my political views because I feel like that is unprofessional. But what they're doing is they are talking about police reform, immigration rights, and policies like that along the line. And they're also talking about, which I'll talk about in the video, about due process and things like that. So this protest represents politics going beyond voting booths. People are out using their voices, their signs, and their presence to demand change. That's what roots democracy or grassroots democracy looks like. What you're seeing here isn't like um, unpeaceful protesting. This is peaceful protesting and what it should be. A lot of times, what you'll see online is protests that are very unpeaceful, causing damage to government property and disturbing the peace. Many people are drawing their personal cultural identities on here, um, and they're just voicing their opinions at a quite a interesting way. Doing it in the rain, I guess, shows determination and shows that they are very passionate about what they believe in. I did end up asking some participants in the protest what they were here for and what they were hoping to achieve today. But I did get some information from them. Some of the information being that, but they were basically just talking about how they feel that some of the people who are being succumbed to ICE have been done so unjustly, and that is their prerogative. That is their choice to believe in that. So I just wanted to say that over here because I wasn't able to say everything that was on my mind at the protest because it was in the moment and I was on a time crunch. But
So, police officers nowadays are only allowed to arrest people who break, in other words, important laws, while people are allowed to break laws that are not important. Laws like stealing electric scooters and stuff like that. But this protest is basically along the lines of no kings and the fact that they don't want police in this state. And I don't know if anyone is familiar with the type of city and some of the county are in relation to crime, but the city, yeah, it's a lot worse, but the county also has its problems. And the rapid decline in recruitment of officers in the city is a lot faster than the recruits that are applying to become police officers. And I believe as of the end of last year, they are not hiring any more police officers due to funding. And they are at a steady pace losing officers, whether they are retiring or if they're transferring to another department in the county or other places other than the city. So I predict that the city will get progressively more dangerous as less police officers and less funding is given to them. And that is mostly due to protests like these. And don't get me wrong, some of the things they protest are good. Like due process, like that woman's sign says in the green. It says no police state, and it's due process. And the No Kings sign, I don't have as much information on that, but I will do more research and then do a voiceover. But as of right now, I'm just saying what I see. And as I've been sitting here, I've realized that down here, because I am down by Loch Raven, and by Loch Raven and Calvert Hall, I believe, high school, and it is very democratic down here, I guess you could say. Or they're very against the police down here compared to up in Parkton, where I am. And this protest has been going on since about 8, maybe 7:50. So it's been going on for about 50 minutes. I just got here during, I guess, the middle of it to see if I could get the, I guess, best type of footage and see what happens. Because I would assume that during the beginning of these protests that not a lot of people would I guess be here. Like any, I guess, public gathering, it's very, very hard to organize. But unlike other protests, this one seems to be very peaceful. They're not impeding the roadways. They're not disturbing the peace. They're just peacefully protesting and voicing their opinions, which is completely legal. And that sign over there says resist. It just says resist on both sides. I'm assuming that is referring to resist the police. But this protest was said to be going on from 8 to 9. Right now it is 8:45, 8:50-ish. It's probably going to end up going on for another 15, maybe 20 minutes. Because whenever you, I guess, voice an opinion that you truly support, you set an end time, but you don't really have to follow it because it's your time. And if you are doing something that you believe in, you're on no time crunch. But I was originally going to go to a new No Kings protest down in Baltimore at the Patterson Park, but I was told by some of my dad's police officer colleagues that it was a little too dangerous because there were a lot of people there. And it would not have been safe to go down there without a buddy or something. But I really thought there would be a lot more people here. But it is Tuesday, so people are probably at work. Maybe not a lot of people could come. You can definitely hear what a lot of these people are supportive of. There are a lot of these people down here are supportive of no police state and no kings and no process and stuff. I'm not saying all these people are like that because I think it's like 50% people honking, 50% people not honking, and then I would assume there's a group of people who just don't care, because there's always that type of group. There's always people who care, people who don't care, and people, and just, yeah, there's always those three different types of groups. But in regard to the no police state, I believe it was in I forget what it was. I believe it was either in New York or Wisconsin. There was a huge defund the police movement, and it worked because I have to believe it was 90% of all police, 90% or all police in that state were completely defunded, and they left. All the police officers left and had moved to different departments. Some moved to different states to join different departments. And fast forward a little over a month and a half, 2 months, the crime rate skyrocketed. I believe it was up 50 or 60%, because they didn't have any police officers, and I guess the force they did have was a community force, and they couldn't do anything because, number one, they didn't have, I guess, the power of a government issued police force, per se, and people were getting robbed, mugged, stolen from, and eventually, after they had realized that, hey, we need police officers because we didn't realize how much work they did until we got rid of them. And it's not like that someone could snap their fingers and they could have their police officers back, because all these officers had gone to different departments or retired, like some of them are doing in Baltimore City. So what ended up happening was that whatever they were getting paid at their new transfer job, they were paid, I believe it was 30% to 35% more on their salary just to get them back to work there so they could have a police force. And even then, not every officer came back, because as you might think, leaving your job at the first place is quite difficult financially, I'm assuming, and stressful to find a new job, transfer and stuff like that. It's a process, and to do that and then to leave that and come back to your original job may not be possible for everybody. So in my opinion, this is no bias, just because my father's a police officer, but police officers are necessary. Are some of them corrupt or not very good officers? Absolutely. But there are definitely 100% so many more good officers than there are bad officers. And if you focus on all the bad officers, you're not really gonna see change if you don't look at the good officers trying their best to make change. So this is my political rally / protest video, and thank you for watching, and hopefully I get a good grade.
This event shows how cultural and politics are deeply connected. Protests like this one are more than public displays, they are a form of storytelling, resistance, and community building. By showing up, speaking out, and standing together, people make it clear that culture itself is a political force, one that shapes how power is challenged and how challenge begins. So, thank you for watching, and enjoy this cameo.